tabs open. Welcome back to... Oh, hold on. Chop that off. Welcome back to Avidly Talks. This is your weekly part. Well, this is a new intro I've just made up. Anyway, this week I'm joined by my partner in crime, Emily Yates, and I've literally worked with you how long now? 8 years, hasn't it?
8 years, yeah.
8 years, and I can't remember when we last just did a podcast, but we were doing some live events together, and this week we're doing a debrief or follow-up from the Spring Spotlight from HubSpot.
We are. It's exciting, isn't it?
1 month ago to the day, I think.
It's crazy how quickly time goes, isn't it?
Yeah, so what is Spring Spotlight for those who just need a quick catch-up?
Okay, so Spring Spotlight is... so Spotlight in general is something HubSpot released twice a year, usually around spring, hence the name. Then there's usually another one around their inbound conference. And it's basically where HubSpot release their biggest releases of that season. There's always HubSpot releases, there's like 200 every month, but this is like the most combined, and it's usually something more fundamental than just you can now do this little tweak in a workflow. It's usually something more substantial than that.
And what we did a month, I'm just thinking back what we've done in the month. So we've had a intro guide, we've had a live session on LinkedIn where if you did join us for that, I think about 30 people managed to see me not realise my mic wasn't working. But Emily, I'm still impressed by. I was going to say I'm amazed, but I'm not amazed. I was impressed by you taking over the reins. You were meant to be hosting and quizzing me. My mic died. How did that feel for you?
2 years ago, I'd probably wouldn't have coped with it how I did. But because we were so familiar with the updates, we'd worked on the slides together, it just felt pretty smooth, to be honest. I mean, we work together all the time, so you can sort of bounce off each other, and sort of know how the other person's going to position something. So that felt and made it smoother.
Well, you absolutely nailed it. It was really impressive how you did it. So, like I say, a month ago we saw these updates from Spring Spotlight. There were 200 updates, 200 plus updates released. You said we normally get monthly updates of around anywhere between 80 to 120 every month, but then a big batch altogether last month. The theme for this batch of updates was moving fast, and the wording is, I'm just looking at our notes, the wording is, it's a platform capability shift rather than necessarily new headline features. So take us back to give us a summary of what the kind of things are that have been updated.
Yeah, so we've got things across HubSpot that usually use the AI. So we've got all the customer agents that have had a little bit of updates. We've got the marketing hub that has got new functionality in there, and different workspaces. So all stuff that is going to enable teams who are using HubSpot to do the things that they need to do quicker. And that's where this platform shift has come from. So it's much smoother, much cleaner, putting stuff in one place for people to look at. And I think that's what they've done. So it's using AI across the platform.
So there's not a big new feature, is there, necessarily?
I couldn't pinpoint the new feature if I had to. There's loads of little bits that have been improved, tweaked. Maybe like a new tool that's had to be introduced to allow something else to happen. But yeah, it's all stuff that people were asking for, and now it's been made possible to do. So sales reps can just stick to their sales workspace and have prompts as well as to where to spend their time most effectively, really.
So the reason we're talking about this is just for context, sort of, we don't have a big shiny feature released by HubSpot, like a brand new, say, was it either 12 or 24 months ago, they switched to Content Hub. That was a big sort of, big name change, new grouping of tools, new features added. That was like a big loud splash. Breeze Agents last inbound 24, launching Breeze Intelligence, Breeze AI agents and AI features all bannered under Breeze. That was a big loud thing. We were expecting something typical like that for this release, but it wasn't. It was more of the same Breeze agents, Breeze features, but they're better. So let's dive into what's actually better about them. I'm not going to go through all 200. That would be far too long and far too boring for anybody to listen to. Lots of them are just little quality of life updates. That new thing is easier and quicker to get to, or etc. etc. But some of them are a real stepping up a gear. One of the things actually, I remember speaking to Nicholas Holland from HubSpot after inbound, and I think it was on one of our sessions or something. Anyway, he was talking about how catching lots of feedback from the inbound launch and the demos, and then the reality of, oh, it's not actually just 2 clicks of a button, is it? Do you think we're getting towards actually now demo level quality?
I'd say we're getting closer than we've ever been, and I think that with the rate of things changing as they are, I don't, I, I don't think we'll ever fully get to demo quality. But I think we can get. I think we have got a lot closer, and I think we are going to get closer still.
Hmm.
What
Yeah,
do you think?
I think the quality is just improving monthly with these HubSpot features, I'd say. Every time if you take a step back and think, oh, hold on, if you're using them all the time, you don't really notice it. But if you take a step back and go, well, in Q1, I wasn't able to use that tool for this thing, but now I can. Like any AI tool, basically. But right, so let's get back into it. Sorry, I derailed us. So, headline roundup of stuff. We've got basically AI at the core of HubSpot. It's always been a smart CRM for the past few years and AI powered, but these Breeze agents now are at the core, and this is a good step up in terms of functionality of AI generally as we start moving into agentic AI, speeding up everyday tasks, having a bit more autonomy to make automated decisions based on X, do Y, rather than having to just take something from X and get it ready to go and do Y. Is now actually taking it through that step. Short time to ROI and over 200 updates coming together to make that centralized data pool in your HubSpot portal faster than ever. So this is why it matters. People are getting pressured to do more things fast thanks to AI tools, and HubSpot is catering to that audience. I've just been talking to somebody else about how we have that pressure to do more, especially marketing teams. But we heard a client talking about it yesterday who was in the office actually. The sales leaders of this customer who was in were really keen to get HubSpot Sales Workspace installed. You'll be able to do more and move faster. The team were feeling like these tools are going to come and do my job for me and replace me. It's an interesting thing when you look at some of these tools that are released that we'll go into now, that you get two sides of the coin at all times. And I think that let's dive into that with something like Customer Agent. So this is a front-facing, super clever chatbot, basically, where people can get their queries answered. Now, this 24/7 AI support across Messenger, if you use WhatsApp or SMS on your HubSpot portal or your website via a chatbot, you get instantly getting answers to your customers based on your relevant data pool that you train it on. This is a good example, I think, of being able to use HubSpot to scale what you're doing without increasing headcount and putting a business owner hat on or an efficiency hat on. That's brilliant. You've got all your knowledge-based articles, you've got your product data sheets and stuff that it's trained on, so the answers are reliable. How does that feel to you, Em, as an individual that, say, put yourself in the shoes of the customer support team? How does that feel now that that's getting done for you? Be honest.
I think this is something I've pondered quite a lot recently as well, and I think that there's again two sides to it. One where it's like an impulsive, this is my immediate response to it, which is I don't like that. I feel like it's doing too much of my job, and like we just discussed with those sales team. But then when you step back and actually think about it, a customer service person's job is to look after the customer, not to do admin. And so if there's something that can be handled by someone, if there's something that can be handled by something automatically delivering admin type tasks like finding a knowledge base article to help someone answer a question there and then I can spend my time actually keeping the relationships, keeping that human element with the customer,
The ones who
then
need it.
the ones who really need it, the ones where these new dashboards can show that's a really good, like, this person needs it, needs extra support right now. You can actually do the parts of your job that really need you as a person.
I think that's a good way of putting it, actually, which I've not heard before. It's framing the mundane customer requests in your mind internally as
Yeah.
admin. Like answering that query for the 100th time this year. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I know chatbots could do some of this anyway before, but what I mean is here now that not the exact, a chatbot previously could answer the exact query or via multiple choice get them to the exact query, but it can come in a unique way now, and then this customer agent has got the intelligence to go and research and sift through the materials you're letting it train from to come up with the answer. And you're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good shift, actually. It's what we're classing as admin.
But obviously, it's like that immediate response to something is, oh my word, that's what I spend all my time doing. But there's much better uses for a person's time than
Absolutely.
finding those bits of data.
Tell you what is cool about this customer agent now. Available wherever your customers interact. So websites, in-app chats, email, WhatsApp, call-in, or Facebook Messenger. So I didn't notice the call-in one when we did the Spring Spotlight debrief. So I'm guessing it's got voice reply as well, or voice. What's it called? Voice interaction. So that's interesting.
And I think just on that whole omni-channel sort of approach as well, like you've got people that, I mean, I'm really guilty of this. I can be on a website and then want to continue the conversation on my phone because I'm popping out on a dog walk. Like that being able to shift to where the customer is at that time is going to make the customer feel more valued too.
Yeah, and again, yeah, you're not doing it as the human who's like, yeah, all right, I'll meet you on Facebook. It's just
Yeah.
the technology's going and meeting them wherever they want to as well. Now, a lot of that is powered by your knowledge base, and there's now a knowledge base agent as well, which works in tandem with this. So it drafts knowledge base articles for you based on real tickets. So if you're a higher customer volume company, or perhaps have the methods in place, if you're a service business and have the methods in place to gather those repeat queries, the patterns, you'll be spotting the patterns yourself anyway in the back of your mind. But now the patterns I'm spotting, the patterns you're spotting over there, the patterns Josie's spotting in her calls, it's actually all centralized, and we're gathering it data and breaking down these data silos and turning them into drafts of how do I do X, where do I find this, what's the price of this, whatever the customer queries are. A knowledge base agent can draft these articles for you, and you put them live once you've sense checked them.
It feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because writing those knowledge base articles would have taken a lot of time before as well, and you're literally just the checker, a QCer of those, and again allowing you to free your time up to actually go and help the customers.
And it's back to that framing that as admin. All right,
Yeah.
it's because there's a bit of thinking and typing involved. You don't see it as admin. But I said to somebody yesterday on one of the product experience teams at HubSpot about how it's good to start seeing these admin in inverted commas tasks getting taken care of now. Because in your head at first, admin is like email, your diary, your calendar, your time logging on your project management system. But actually, there's a lot of work that can be bracketed under admin, and that sort of typing up and capturing what the knowledge base article should be and writing out the answer for the 50th time in your life. That is admin. It doesn't take much brain power, but it takes time. And you got that time back.
There's a lot of tasks like that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Across the business. And I think that's the other thing as well, like when you're looking at a business as a whole, like there are tasks that don't need your brain power in the same way. Like if there's a right or wrong to the answer, then it's perfect for something like this.
I just noticed looking in some of the feature lists under the knowledge base agent. So it continuously improves content as well. So it's going to be looking at how people interact with it. Was this article useful? Yes or no? And if it keeps getting flagged as no, it's going to feed back to you and look for more input or ask for more input. So yeah, you get to scale that customer support again, not just customer agent. Now, next area, Breeze content agent. Obviously, I've picked this one yet again. It learns your brand voice and strategy. There's new extra features to control the brand voice. It launched with just pick 4 of these characteristics from a list of 25. You can go a lot more in depth than that now, and yeah, it is really good for scaling content production, repurposing a landing page into some social copy to get people to it and an email body to send people to it. Yeah, it was doing that anyway, but now the content agent is layered throughout lots of different places. Have you noticed anything sort of, it has been subtle, but have you noticed any shifts since the sort of version 2 of Content Agent in Spring Spotlight?
I've noticed the accuracy of what it suggests is much closer to what you need it to be than what it was in the past. And I think that I can only assume that is because it knows the brand better, and it's picking up all of everything that we're all doing all day, every day, and producing something that suits the brand better.
The content translations have really stepped on as well. Content Agent, the quality, we've switched, for example, our newsletter written by Valerie in English and German was previously more efficient to translate it yourself, but in the past few weeks that's shifted to edit the Content Agent's translation.
I hadn't realised that.
So that's, an hour saved every edition. And we've just done it for website pages as well, our own, before any customers worry. So yeah, really impressive. That's been not just HubSpot, but that's a big content shift in the past few months. We talked in the past, about how translations were good using AI from German to English or any other language to English, but we're now going both ways.
Yeah, I think other languages had some complexities that AI hadn't got to grips with back then, like the feminine and masculine words and things like that.
Back then being months as well.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Probably started this year.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of the other things in there, we've got under all these agents, by the way, I'm looking over at my other screen, we've got this long list of features under them that have had updates. Built-in SEO optimization rather than it being in a separate step and a separate bit of your workflow. Multiple content ideas with explanations rather than here's a stab at it, do you like it? It's here's 4 ideas and here's why we're suggesting them, which is always better. I've talked about the enhanced brand identity, internal linking. That's the bit again where it's just doing a bit more thinking and contextual suggestions for you.
And it's something like, if we think about the amount of content that we've got, we would never be able to remember every single little bit of content that would be an appropriate link.
Exactly.
Whereas this is remembering and knowing
for
you.
Exactly. Yeah. I never thought of that. Yeah, it's that they're the little bits of brain power it's saving you, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've also got, just to round these off a bit, we've got prospecting agent, automated prospect research and outreach. So you can, if you're doing target accounts or any form of ABM, this is going to help with that. Works with Sales Hub Pro and Enterprise. It's built in. It's not bolted on. So that's the other part of these things as well. They're actually layered into the platform. Now, Breeze intelligence credits can be a separate thing, but these agents specifically are just part of HubSpot now. And you'll even see where they've physically moved them out of the agents area. The content agent is in Content Hub now, and so on.
I remember on the LinkedIn Live that we did for this, I asked the question, how long does sales team spend prepping for the calls versus actually being on the call and selling? And the balance without these tools was really off. And this is sort of fixing that challenge.
Yeah, and I think when you play with it as well, you see that it's not just gathering the basics that you could do yourself. It's actually got that little bit more information with it, essentially, that's a bit more useful, saves you a bit of time. But also, it's the prioritizing and helping you in the agent part comes in when it's saying, actually, based on all the past interactions, reach out to this person.
Yeah, and it's not just based off that customer either, is it? It can
No,
draw knowledge from past sales and past closed won deals and things like that.
exactly. Now, before we get on to some of the other features, which I think you should lead on because they're your favourite standout bits, one other one bit of a change from being related to agents. It's actually a multi-account management. So if you're a big company, global company, or international company, or multi-brand house, you might have separate HubSpot portals. You can now share data and assets, marketing campaigns, but also CRM data, single way, two way, all into a mothership account, one way, or interspersing in between each other, up to 5 accounts at the moment with multi-account management. So I know a lot of our team were excited about that for their clients, and it would work for us. For example, we have a portal in each region.
Yeah.
But then your favourites.
Yeah, so I've got two favourites. One is the journey automation, and I really like the fact that there's a visual journey builder, and the fact that you can see at what points of your journey there's people maybe dropping off or going somewhere totally different to what you expect. And it gives marketing teams, especially like us, like the capability to optimize that journey and to provide those options
So
easier
what is
for
it?
people.
Paint the picture.
So it's sort of like it's more of a shift from a workflow to a like an experience. So it's a part of HubSpot that allows you to see where customers are going, automate those parts of the journey as well. And it's just like if you've ever sort of struggled to untangle a past like nurture flow that you've got, then this is what is going to fix that because it will let you see more clearly in a visual way what is happening.
Now, if you're not familiar with HubSpot, the workflow is what we're talking about in terms of automation journeys. So somebody fills in Form A, update records 1, 2, and 3 in the CRM, wait this amount of time, send them this email. If they interact with it, send them this email. If they don't interact with it, send them this email, and so on and so on. So that's what I think you're meaning. That's what I picture anyway when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talk about workflows. The journey automation allows you to bring together and group the fact that you might go, if they've shown an interest, if they've clicked this link in the email, add them to workflow B, and workflow B will then do blah blah blah. And if they behave this way, send them to workflow C, blah 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 blah. Add them to list A, blah 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 blah, and do this. With journey automation, all of that separate automation is in one screen, and I think we flip flopped on the LinkedIn Live time around whether is that just multiple workflows in one screen, or is it more?
I think it's more, and the more I thought about it, I think it's more because it's adapting to individual behavior. So like you're not bucketing groups of people now and saying send this group of people down this workflow. It's based on that person's interactions with your business. Do this.
I love the visual bit of it that you mentioned as well, and there's a note here I've just seen in our notes on the second screen. It shifts the audience from workflow thinking, of like you said, send these people into that workflow, and if it's successful, put them in this workflow, and then if that doesn't work, put them back in this workflow, to thinking of the overall experience design, because you're actually at the click of a button now, just dragging somebody over there and doing like on a flow chart of making the if branches and sending them down different paths, and you're actually able to zoom out and look at the overall journey. Again, sounds really small though. I find myself saying these things out loud and think that's just a UI change, but it's not, because it's going to save you even just the screen space of switching between tabs and mentally carrying what was in that tab over into this tab, now just being in the same screen. That sounds really. Does that sound stupid?
It doesn't.
I
But
think
it's
it
those
does.
that. No, I think the fact that brain space is important, isn't it, for the stuff that actually matters? And having to flip between a million tabs. Before we joined this call, I was like, I'm going to shut down some tabs because everyone has too many tabs open.
But is
And
that meme in it of especially sales and marketing people with a million tabs open? And
I mean, it's a very, yeah, it is. And then it's not. And I think that's a lot of what this is. It's shifting that whole thinking in general.
here we go. Here's the last two features on it. Last two benefits, sorry. Allows building more powerful and personalized journeys in half the time. I mean, when you think about it, actually, just loading the tabs and setting the instruction and then going out and opening that other workflow, that's probably, if it was a 2 hour task, that's 10 minutes immediately removed, let alone the thinking whilst you do it
Yeah.
and double checking. Anyway, and then enables seeing all the different paths in one place. So yeah, I really don't think you can underestimate that. So what's new is it's an advanced tool for creating automated multi-stage customer journeys that adapt to individual behaviors. It's got journey analytics, journey governance, and a single journey builder tool in a single unified platform. So it allows you to easily visualize those interactions, removes the fragmentation of tools and journeys, makes it easier to add personalization, and essentially it allows you to nurture your leads more effectively, nurture your customers more effectively, give a better experience quicker. It's back
And
to that fast thing, innit, without even realizing.
see the opportunities to optimize those
Mm.
journeys quicker.
I touched on lists. Another big one is lookalike lists, and I know you really liked this one. Why? What is it, and why do you like it?
So lookalike lists in HubSpot is delving into your wider database. So all marketers have like their go-to lists of these are the leads that we're going to market to, and these are the leads that are ready for sales. And but there's always people in your database that have slipped through the cracks somehow, but they're still really good. This lookalike list enables like it's HubSpot finding other people in your database, not outside your database, inside your database that look like good fits, and you can then do something with that.
So, Breeze AI clones your best customers, and that finds high fit leads instantly. There's no exports, no manual filtering. It's just better targeting, quicker, faster, and it works inside your CRM, like you said. This isn't bought lists. Don't let us get that wrong. It is people already in your CRM that are meeting the criteria of your best performing other people in your CRM. So whether that's you've not caught that they're opening all your emails, or that they have demographic data similar, or whatever the features are that are in your CRM data, it will now hunt them out for you and provide them to you on a plate. So you've already got the gold in your CRM. Let's find more of it. I don't know who came up with that in our speaker notes, but cheesy, but I like it. Yeah, speedier campaign launches, efficient use of marketing budgets, helps you find the perfect audience instantly. Clone your best customers, and they're always the best people. They're the ones you want to go and have more of, aren't they?
For sure.
I think we talked about workspaces, but briefly they've sort of organised things for sales reps, support reps, customer success managers. So we've got sales workspace, bit like Sales Hub sort of got dropped off, didn't it? When we made Content Hub and Marketing Hub, Service Hub, Operations Hub, Commerce Hub, there wasn't actually a Sales Hub, but there's now a sales workspace. And that allows you one interface, one place to go and work if you're in the sales team. You don't need to get bogged down by all the million other features in HubSpot. No more tab juggling. You know where to focus, where to work, and how to get the job done fast.
And prioritising it as well.
And then they've done similar thing, reorganization, and as well as layering in all these agents and these other product updates, reorganizing the tool into a help desk workspace as well as a sales workspace and a customer success workspace. So for those teams, it's a lot easier now to work in only the bits that you're interested in working in. It sounds stupid on the face of it. Like, was it a real mess before? No, but it's now a lot simpler, even more than it was before. Which made this a weird spring spotlight, just to bring this to a close, really. I don't know, it did to me. I don't know if you agree.
I toyed with my thoughts on the Spring Spotlight for a while, but yeah, it did, and it makes a lot of sense at the same time.
So it's not just feature releases, there are over 200 of them. It's a capability shift across the platform. The agents that were already there have kicked on several notches. Even the menu in the tool is changed and simpler and improved. The quality of the work that you're doing is going to be better using these tools than it was 2 months ago. It's going to be easier to use the tools than it was 2 months ago. There's not necessarily new tools. They've just rebadged them, essentially reorganized them, but also upgraded the ones that were already there. So think about ways you can use these tools to move faster, and then talk to any HubSpot users about them. If you are a HubSpot user and haven't played with them, we'd love to see some comments on the podcast, or we'll share this on the LinkedIn Live as well. Now we've had some time to see the re-released or updated features from Spring Spotlight. Love to know how people are getting on with them. So it's not just, like I say, key takeaway, not just feature releases, it's a capability shift, and use these things to do what you're already doing faster. I think one thing from today I'm listening to you is sort of think about what tasks are actually admin, in inverted commas, that take up time, but not brain space. But that does stop you doing things that you could be doing instead, but also does just take that edge of energy off, your mental capacity away. And then work out how these tools can actually take that off your hands.
Yeah, I think lots of them seem really small updates, really tiny updates, but when you put them all together and compound them, the impact that can have on businesses, their efficiency, what they can get out there, is just huge.
Exactly. Okay, we'll be back with another. We did this as a LinkedIn Live originally. We're back with our next LinkedIn Live when, and what's the topic?
Okay, so it is the 22nd of May. We'll be live on LinkedIn. We've got a HubSpot guest joining us who is part of the HubSpot for Startups team. And we're going to be talking about how HubSpot can support startup businesses, how they can join the program, how they can get more out of it.
Brilliant. So that's 22nd of May, live on LinkedIn. We'll put the link in the show notes and things. Also, one other headline before we finish, bit of housekeeping. We just had it come through from HubSpot, press release feature, I guess. I don't know if that's what you'd call it. So Customer Agent, you can now try that even if you don't have Service Hub, if you're on any Pro or Enterprise tier. So every Pro and Enterprise subscription using seats will get a monthly package to try Breeze Customer Agent. If you're on a Pro tier, you'll get 3,000 credits, and if you've got Enterprise, you'll get 5,000 credits. So you can start seeing the value of that first agent we talked about, which is answering your support queries, drafting knowledge base, ideas for you, and taking care of the easy questions, essentially, in a much better way than any chatbot ever could. So go check that out. We're going to go play with that as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a comment, 5-star review. Thanks for the comments last week on Spotify. We saw those coming through. Much appreciated. Really does help us if you leave those comments and hit the follow button, but you also don't miss future episodes as well. So I'll see you next time, and I'll see you in another call in a few minutes, Em. Thanks very much.
No worries. Bye-bye.
Hey, did you enjoy this episode? Then be sure to leave us a comment, a review, and hit that follow button. See you next episode.